KTM 390 Adventure. I don't know where to begin this review actually. Well, firstly let me tell you why I got this motorcycle back in September 2022. You had old Himalayan, the GS 310 and the 390 Adventure, and I test rode all these motorcycles before deciding to get the 390 for myself. So the decision was kind of easy, to be honest, because firstly both the motorcycles were underpowered, that is Himalayan and GS, and I really like the look of 390 Adventure, especially with the TFT and stuff. So it kind of was very easy decision for me to get the KTM 390 Adventure. So I have done around 40,000 kilometers, or 40,352 to be precise, and it's been tremendous journey. I've taken her to all the parts of India. I've taken her to Ladakh, Spiti and all of southern India as well. Basically across India, you could say that. And there was no time in my riding life that I faced any engine related issues with these motorcycles. Maybe I got lucky, or maybe KTM are experienced enough to design their engine in such a way that they last for a longer time. Because I personally know people who have got the first lot Duke 390, which was launched back in 2013, and they have done around like 1 lakh kilometer, and their motorcycle is still running in a perfect condition. So where should we begin now? Let me start with suspension. I know many out there complain about the suspension of this motorcycle being stiff, and rightly so, but stiffer suspension can be a good thing as well, especially when you are riding on a good tarmac road like this. So when you are riding at very high speed, the bike tends to be very stable when it has a stiffer suspension, which I did for like 80 to 85% of the time. So like cruising around 140, 150 as well, the bike remained very stable actually, very stable. So I have no complaints with the suspension, and this motorcycle doesn't have a adjustable suspension, but I never felt like adjusting it. So it's a thumbs up for me from my side to the suspensions. And now coming to the service and maintenance, other than changing the variables, that is tires and chain sprocket, I haven't done much, to be honest, barring basic servicing and maybe oil changes at every like 6,500 kilometers. Other than that, I didn't treated this bike like in a different manner to like I would have treated other bikes. So that was good. And even the service cost has been very pocket friendly, I would say, especially coming from a high performance single cylinder motorcycle. One thing which I didn't like about the service, that the service guys aren't serious about your motorcycle. They don't care what kind of issues it has, unless you specifically mention it to them that you have such kind of issues, and otherwise they don't even care. And I won't blame them. You are barely paying anything for the service, So like you get what you pay for, right? And coming to the build quality, which is the worst part about this motorcycle. But again, other than engine, the plastic fairing, especially you see on the front, the plastic fairing has been, you know, very weakly designed, or I don't know like what's up with it. They tend to break in like every 10 to 12,000 kilometers, especially the front fairing and fairing near the headlight areas. But on a good note, this plastic fairing are very cheap, like 150 rupees. So it's like a bargain, I would say. Next, what should we talk about next? I have also shared the cost of ownership as well. The cost of ownership has been very pocket friendly, I would say. Reliability also, the motorcycle has been very reliable, but that may be, you know, strictly limited to my motorcycle. But I to be honest, I haven't heard any major complaints from the 390 Adventure Fox that I know. So I don't know, like I can only share my experiences. Tires, this bike, you know, comes with Metzeler Tourance tires, which was really good. They lasted me around 16,000 kilometers. And then I've been using, I've used actually two sets of tire after that. One is Apollo Trampler, and now I'm using this Maxxis tires, which are, you know, just fine, to be honest. I'll again probably get a Apollo Trampler. Those tires are, I think, the best tires which you can buy, especially at that price. It's a steal of a deal, like around 7 to 8,000. They are very good deal. So I'd probably get those tires again. And also another issue with the build quality, the bike makes ton of sounds. The sounds coming from, you know, plastic touching together, especially from the front fairing area. So it can be very annoying, but I think you can get away with, you know, using earplugs. You'll barely hear anything. Other than that, the performance has been very solid. Also, I know many people complain about the low end throttle about the bike, but I don't think it's something, you know, the engine is, you know, designed in such a way that it is a high RPM machine. So basically it will struggle at low RPMs, and just opposite of it will just fly. It will still pull up at 7,000 RPM, which is just mind-boggling for a single cylinder machine. So it needs to, you know, you need to get used to the engine, because you need to ride it in a different fashion as compared to the other motorcycles out there. It's a high RPM machine, and you always need to be in the right gear. Coming to another con which I don't like about this motorcycle is a condensation issue. But it's not strictly limited to this bike, because I've seen on the Reddit people who have 890 Adventure and people who actually have this TFT have struggled with the, you know, condensation. And it's just not limited to this TFT actually. You will also see it on the blinkers. So it kind of, you know, annoys sometimes, like how come such a huge brand like KTM, you know, struggle with like basic thing. It's very basic thing. It's like they not, you know, sealing it properly. Now coming to the mileage has been very good actually, especially considering the performance this motorcycle punch in. I've been regularly getting around 28 to 32 kmpl on this motorcycle. That is when I'm cruising cruising at around 100 to 110 kilometer per hour, which is great considering the kind of performance it gets. And I didn't ride too much in traffic, but you can expect around 25 to 26 kmpl of average, and I have no complaints actually when it comes to the mileage. And like, more importantly, more than mileage, it's the fuel range, which I'm constantly getting around 400 kilometers of fuel range, which is great if you are looking to tour and ride around India on this motorcycle, because 400 kilometers is lot of kilometers before you take a break and fuel up. So no complaints there as well. The TFT dash, everyone knows about it. It packs in traction control, it has cornering ABS, it has every feature that it needs. So no complaint there as well. Very happy, and very happy with the quick shifter as well. I have named my username just because I've been very happy with the quick shifter performance. It's been flawless, especially at at higher speed and higher gearing. First and second gear can be clunky, but I know that they are clunky to every other motorcycle with a quick shifter out there. But like, see, I'm in third gear right now. Very easy. It's smoother than what you can do with the clutch. So I'm very happy with quick shifter. It's a bi-direction. I can upshift, and at the same time I can downshift as well. So no complaints there as well. But the people who are struggling with quick shifter, I think there is bit of learning to be done here, because you need to be bit harder while shifting the gears. That's when it works at its best. That's what I felt. Initially it was bit clunky for me, but like when you are in high RPM, look how easy, how easy it does, and how effortlessly. Even the downshifts, very smooth for 90% of time in my case. So no complaints there as well. Now coming to its off-road capabilities, it's been very good in my limited experience with off-roading. I mean, it speaks for itself. Oops. Again, it has its limitations and its problems, but once you learn and get used to its limitation, it can be a decent motorcycle for off-roading. But again, it's not meant to do off-roading. You are better off buying something else in like half of the what these bikes price is. But it can handle rough terrains, and it has. Look how effortlessly it did. I know many people complain about it being have alloy wheels, but they have been very good in my case. I managed to actually vent them once, but other than that, they've been really rock solid, because the kind of off-roading I've done on it, I thought I'll break my alloys, but that wasn't the case, and I actually just bent it, which it got repaired. So in off-roading also, like whatever I am capable of, it has done its job really well. But again, I don't think that this motorcycle is made for like extreme off-roading and stuff, which people kind of expect it to do. And I don't know why they expect it to do, because the front wheel is just 19 inch and the rear is 17 inches. So I don't know why people expect it to be perform like an enduro bike or something. But it has been very good in my experience, as said. Now let's go to Instagram questions. The first one is from name is Uday07. What care should be taken after third service, or how to maintain the bike? As said earlier, I didn't treat it as a special machine of some kind or something. I've been only maintaining the service intervals. The KTM tells you to service your bike at regular interval, which is around 7,500 kilometers. But I've been getting it serviced at around 6 to 6,500 kilometers. So that's the only different thing which I'm doing. Other than that, basic chain maintenance, coolant check, and that's it. So I didn't treat it any special of sorts. Second is from Rohit. ADV X or old models, or the new ADV X with all the screen and cruise control on it? I do like the old model. I don't think that the new Adventure X 390X has a cruise control. But other than that, I'll just buy it for the new engine, because the engine is completely new engine. This engine has a 373cc of like capacity, and the new engine is around 399cc if I'm not wrong, and it's also like 2 or 3 bhp higher than that. So I'll just get it for the new engine. Other than that, everything is just bonus. And looks are, I feel they are completely subjective and depends upon you. I personally like the new Adventure, so for me it's a thumbs up for new Adventure. But new Adventure doesn't have a cruise control, that I know for sure, and it also doesn't have a traction control. Comparison with the new 2025 version. That's Parth Semwal who is asking this question. I don't have the 2025 version, so I cannot compare it with. But that bike looks really good and really compelling, and a lot more capable than this motorcycle for off-roading, because the front one is 21 inches. So it should be an interesting motorcycle, but it's also almost 70 to 80,000 expensive than the current Adventure, especially when you count the on-road and taxes and stuff. So do keep that in mind. Pavdeep is asking, I know it's not for fuel efficiency bike, but still, what's the fuel efficiency? As I said earlier, I've been regularly getting around 28 to 32 kmpl. Like now also I've done around 20 kilometers, and it's showing 29.3 kilometers per liter. So I've been regularly getting 28 to 32 mileage, which has been pretty good. Sai Kumar is asking fiber body maintenance. Other than basic washing at regular intervals, I didn't treat anything, I didn't do anything different with this bike. But one thing which I took care of was this black fiber plastic parts. You can get like 20 rupees polish from any kind of local automobile shop, and just after you wash, you can use that polish on these black parts, because they tend to fade away, and it can be they can turn white really fast. So that's the only thing which I have been doing, that use that polish after every wash. It does attract dust, but I rather have dust on my motorcycle than these parts fading. Other than that, the fuel tank has been really nice. This fairing also, I didn't see anything substantial with this fairing as well. Rishi is asking off-roading capabilities and broken fork seal, if yes. As I've shown you and told you that this bike is more than capable of off-roading, unless you treat it like a enduro bike, which it's not. And KTM never advertised, to be honest, but they did touted it to be a off-road machine. So it's been good in my case, and in my limited off-roading experiences. But I've done like whatever limited I've done is has been very harsh off-roading. So it's been thumbs up for me, and no folk seal leaks in my case so far in my 40,000 kilometers journey. I didn't do any maintenance as such, not even a folk seal cover, which is every rider should do, but I didn't even get that. So no S. Sivans Pradeep is asking, any issue with the gear shift? I find mine to be a bit harder, especially from second to get. It can be clunky sometimes, but for 95% of the time they have they have worked really well in my case. Like for 99% of time they, but at the odd moment there will be like some shift which will be really clunky, especially with the false neutral. The only thing which I've struggled sometimes has been false neutral. But again, if you are harder on upshift, then you can easily bypass that problem, I would say. Eternal is asking, what tires are you currently using and what's your recommendation? As I said earlier, I have been using Maxxis tires, and they are pretty much in their end of life, like barely more 1000 kilometers, I would say, and they have been decent in my experience so far. But off-roading performance has been kind of average as compared to Apollo Trampler, which I had earlier. So after finishing these tires, I will probably be getting Apollo Trampler tires again, especially now they comes with the stock size of this motorcycle. So Apollo Tramplers are way to go if you have this machine. They have been rock solid for me. The only thing which I didn't like about them is they will last you for around 9 to 10,000 kilometers, and these tires Maxxis can go for like easily 15,000 kilometers. But I'd still pick Apollo Trampler because they are much better tires than these tires. Akshay is asking, front shock up oil leak issue. No issues as I said earlier. Rider Trails is asking, how's the engine sound? Well, listen to it. Wanderlust is asking, did you consider changing to spoke wheels or you don't go off-road altogether? As I said earlier, these alloy wheels has been very rock solid in my case. Only once I managed to bend the front alloy wheels. It was so minor that it wasn't even leaking air, and I've managed to fix it. So other than that, I never felt like get spoke. Okay. This is the screw. I think I lost it somewhere, I don't know. Okay, so other than that, I never felt like needing spoke. Especially I don't do like extreme off-roading. Even if I do, I like hardly do 50 kilometers in like day or so, that too once in a blue moon. So never felt like getting spokes, especially when like there are other bikes exist that are specially meant for off-roading. So I never felt like it. Sujay is asking, which tires are you using and how is it? As I said earlier, I'm using Maxxis tires right now, but I'll probably go back, not probably, surely go back to Apollo Tramplers. Actually, I've already bought it. Once I finish these tires, I'll go and replace to Apollo Tramplers and never look back. Actually, they are that good, actually very good, and I'll 100% recommend to everyone, regardless of what kind of riding you do, to get Apollo Tramplers. Especially for the price of around 8,000, they are like rock solid and steal of a deal in my opinion. Lean is asking, how many times did you check valve clearance in 40k kilometers? Well, it would be a long answer actually. So I actually haven't opened engine like even once, because I don't trust the KTM service guy. And engine is something, it's a like most important component of your motorcycle. So firstly, I haven't I don't trust KTM service guys, and I haven't found any good mechanic, any good and experienced mechanic who can open this engine and check the valve clearance settings. So I have been, procrastinating on it, but like I have done a lot of kilometers on it, and I think it's about time that that I, open it up and check the valve clearance, which I'll probably find a good mechanic, because I know someone who knows a good mechanic. So I'll probably get it done. But like, I don't think it has made a lot of impact, other than slightest of power loss, in my opinion. But again, it's a very important thing. It's very tedious thing, and it's something which I cannot do it on my own. So I'll probably go to a good mechanic and get it done. Yep. So that's it. Look how, see how new it looks, even after 40,000 kilometers of riding. It looks fairly new. And as I said earlier, I didn't treat it any like specially or something. So I'm very happy with this motorcycle, and I hope to do another 40,000 kilometers with it. So yep, that's it from me. Also, if I have missed any of your questions, or you have any queries, then do hit the comment section, and I'll happily answer your queries. So yep, that's it from me. I hope to see you in another video, and also do like and subscribe, because I'm very new to this YouTube gig. Let's see how it goes. Thank you.